woken up. They're coming. The pinpricks of their little feet as they slither around your neck. The mandibles that pierce your flesh so they can slide in and take over. Don't you understand? They're coming. Yes, a nice, happy IPAT, a cheerful IPAT, a wonderful, bright-colored IPAT. That'll keep them away.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Sega's Clockwork Knight, Pepperidge's Adventure. The first volume of this game was a 1995 launch title for the Sega Saturn. It was directed by Tomoyuki Ito, a Shinobi 3 designer who would go on to direct the first two titles in the Sakura Taisen series. It's a 2.5D side-scroller, and a direct influence on Traveler's Tales' Toy Story for the Genesis and Super Nintendo. It actually helped get Traveler's Tales the job making Sonic titles for Sega later on. Anyhow, the story begins with Clockwork Princess Chelsea wigging the toys at midnight, but a mysterious force has turned them evil. So the Knight Pepperidge Show has to go around and kill them all. Hang on, is this right? Okay, so this game gets a little dark, but there's a princess that needs rescuing, and a knight who isn't afraid to commit mass slaughter of his fellow toys. Join me, won't you, to the strange and wonderful world of the Clockwork Knight. The game takes place over 4 rooms in the house, similar to the Sega Dreamcast game that came out in the late 90s, Toy Commander. The game starts in Betsy's room. Pepperidge starts by just walking off to a random spot in the room. So as you can hear, the music starts off really cheery and then gets really strange later on. Some toys get destroyed when they get attacked, and others just get stunned. You can pick up stunned toys and throw them at other toys in order to destroy them. Pepperidge can also run by double tapping in either direction. Now Pepperidge's health is those 3 little gears in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. The bronze key he picked up will refill 1 point of his health. Now Pepperidge has picked up a Pazur Sphere, which makes him invincible for a short period of time. I'll explain who the Pazur character is later. Now we could keep going on the straightaway, but Pepper Cho knows there's a secret that'll give him some extra items. In order to warp from one area to another, Pepper Cho has to open up these boxes with his key, and then jump inside. In this area, Pepper Cho's going to pick up another form of currency that's in this game, the Imperial Crowns. These bottle caps are used in a minigame that you'll play after you defeat the room's boss. As always, we'll get to that when we get there. And Pepper Cho just picked up a silver key, which refills all of his health. Also, I like how in the background there's a couple of monkeys who keep raising and lowering the platforms in the foreground. And in the background you see a picture of Clockwork Princess Chelsea. I guess Betsy must really be into her. I kind of like that ow animation that Pepper Cho does when he hits an enemy. It's very clear that, you've been hit, but he comes back together. We'll just throw this enemy away, and we're able to warp back to the main level where we came from. Now there's a long line of these clown enemies. If I was able to pick one up and throw them at the other enemies, which I'm able to do in a later level, I'd be able to get a number of bonuses from them. Now, I'm really not a fan of those helicopters because they can decide they can come at you at a number of heights. At some heights, like the one that this helicopter is on, you can only hit it by crouching on the ground. Some you'll have to be standing up for, and some you have to be jumping for. And it's not particularly clear which one is going to hit the helicopter. As a personal note, this is one of the 4 launch titles for the Sega Saturn when it came out back in 1995. It was this game, Panzer Dragoon, Daytona USA, and Worldwide Soccer. And of course, Virtua Fighter came for free in the case. Permit me to digress into Alicia Goranson's story time for a little bit. Back in 1994, I had actually picked up an Atari Jaguar. I actually paid money for Kasumi Ninja and for other games for the system. In fact, Atari had sent me a free snowboarding game for the system because I had purchased so many other games. No, I didn't buy Trevor McFur in the Crescent Galaxy, but I did rent it. There actually was a video store near me that rented Atari Jaguar games. In any case, I really enjoyed Alien vs. Predator and Doom for the system. But after a while, the writing was on the wall, and no other games were going to come out. So I packed up my Jaguar and the games that I had purchased, as well as the free one that Atari had sent me, and I went back to Babbage's. Do you remember Babbage's? I remember Babbage's. Now, I had purchased the Atari Jaguar over 6 months ago, but I still had the receipt. I was very meticulous in keeping receipts back then. And the clerk at the time was very generous. Either that or he took pity on me. In either case, he accepted back the Jaguar and the games and gave me full store credit for each of them. So I had this pile of store credit just lying around, until one day in early 1995, where I showed up at the Babbage's, and lo and behold, what was there but a Sega Saturn, and an entire wall of nothing but the same 4 games repeated over and over again. Well, I picked up the Saturn and Panzer Dragoon that day, and later I went back and picked up this game, Clockwork Knight. The Saturn, as you know, retailed for $399 back then. But with all my store credit, it only cost me $70. And I had gotten 2 systems out of that same money. So thank you, noble clerk from Babbage's. I don't think I could have afforded a Saturn unless you had helped out. Now notice when we grabbed that gold key, that our life bar at the bottom of the screen gained an extra gear. Now we've got 4 gears. That's what the gold key does. Now, if you happen to pick up a gold key while you have full health, you'll get an extra life from it. Notice that Princess Chelsea and Soltia have their own books in this level. My favorite books are the Space Odyssey books in blue that come out later in this level. Now we face the alarm clock enemies that can spit gears at you. These are not fun. Well, if you see those little green blocks, they have the icon of a person pushing them on them. And yes, you can push those blocks. But now we have to move fast so we can kill the enemies before the invulnerability runs out. Great, we got all those frogs. Next puzzle. In order to get on top of those books, we're gonna have to push the green block over to them. By the way, these pocket watches increase the time you have to complete the level by 5 seconds each. The levels are pretty generous when it comes to time though, so it really shouldn't be a problem. And now, finally, there's the Space Odyssey book. It is definitely going to hit you unless we can block it somehow. Take out that clock. Go rock. And now all over again. We can't block that other Space Odyssey, but it gives us enough time that we can just jump by it. Well, at least we can use invulnerability frames to get by it. In any case, at the end of every level, there's a stage goal in which you have to jump upon the missing letter in the word clockwork. In this case, the letter is C, and I miss it. Don't worry, I actually do hit one later on. Now back here in the overworld, do you see the sliding puzzle up top that Pepper Cho's walking towards? That's Pazur, the mentor of Sir Ginger, Pepper Cho's rival. And now it's time for the first boss. Note the atelier wallpaper in the background. It's a Charlie McCarthy-style doll. The way to beat him is to jump behind him and wind that key away. Of course, that hat can take life points off you if it hits you. And now over. And we hit it again. Ow. And now its head jumps out and comes after us. So we have to deal with both the hat and the head. Oh, you may have noticed when Pepperocho disappears when he gets hit. That's because the game's flickering at 60 frames a second, while I'm only recording at 30 frames per second, so I'm getting the off frames. Only the frames where Pepperocho has disappeared. Sorry, folks, but as you can see, the puppet has been defeated. Now that we've gotten this over, Pepperocho's off to go to the minigame. Welcome to Sultan Roulette. It's less roulette than 3-card Monty, except instead of 3 cards, it's 8 boxes. We can wager between 5, 10, and 15 coins, but we don't have 15 coins this time, so let's just wager 10. That music is just kinda shrill now, isn't it? Notice that in this version, there are Imperial coins, blue helmets that give 1 life, and red helmets that give 3 lives, as well as a bunch of clowns that'll just ruin your bet. Round and round it goes. Which one we'll pick out? Well, we better have our eye on that. And we got the best prize, the 3-life helmet. From here on, we can either try to win double, or we may lose it all. Of course we're going to try to double our luck. Once again, we must keep our eyes on the boxes as they spin. Now the game has been very nice to us here, and has provided all the doubles on the right side, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get one of them. Keep your eyes on the boxes as they go round, round, around, around, around. Do you know which box has a double in it? We got it! There was no luck there, Soltia. It was all skill. Well, let's try to double our luck again. This time they're mixing it up but spreading out the doubles. Notice there are only 3 doubles this time, while there were 4 before. Round and round and round they go. Well, if you have an eagle eye, I don't think it's too hard. Free lives is about enough for now. So, thank you very much, Soltia, but I think we're going to play it safe this time. I think we're done playing this game. Besides, we don't have enough coins to play anymore. We will. Thank you very much, Soltia.
Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. It won't keep them away at all.
Now that we're done with Betsy's room, we're going off to Kevin's room. Off we go to the next room. Kevin's room has more Legos in it, as you can see, and also has more blue decor. Now this level introduces the tea bags, who are a proper nuisance as far as I'm concerned. You can't really predict their jumps, and they're a pain to hit with items. However, one good thing about holding an item or an unconscious enemy is that you can pretty much just charge into an enemy and it'll destroy them. And finally, the blue clowns can just be stunned in this level, as opposed to the red ones that are just destroyed in one hit. You can see why I really don't like those tea bags. I feel like those footballs are just there because the game makers felt bad about the tea bags. I wanted to give the footballs to you as an apology. Now we've got our health back. Toss that away. And now here's the gimmick of the level. Batteries. Before we do that though, we're gonna grab that life down there. Now try to get out before that clown destroys us. Back over here, and we push the battery in. Hit the button. We could ride the hippo cookies. And plug that hole up. We could also go down there, but we're actually going to be going on the top level this time. We actually want to go down this hole, so we need to move the hippo cookies out of the way. Notice in the background that Kevin has a Pepperitcher poster and a balloon that says Clockwork Knight on it. So below, we have ourselves some pocket watches that'll increase our time to finish the level, and a couple of batteries. We push the first one in order to activate this box of hippo cookies. And now we can transport this other set of batteries over to a place where they will find a use. Above us, there's more of those Imperial crowns, but we don't particularly need them at this point. We have plenty of lives and we'll get plenty more before the game is over. Put the battery in the train, and we ride the train off. Also, good lord is that music discordant. And now we warp onto the next part of the level. We get to ride a mecha and destroy these bowling pins, all while collecting Imperial crowns. Right in front of the American 440 type poster. These guys in blue are annoying, but they're not that hard to beat. I actually make more of a big deal out of it than it is. You can just hit them from down below and it'll destroy them in one hit. But I had that key there. Notice that it gave me a couple other gears. That's what the gold key does. It increases your maximum health by 1. Get 2 of them, and you can get up to 5 points for your health. Now I'll just try to get by these awful, awful tea bags. Finally, cleared those out. And now we reach the end of the level. I have to hit the O and oh, I missed it. Oh well. Still did pretty good, and because we got 100,000 points, we get an extra life. This next level is most infamous for eating all of your life. You will lose so many lives on this level if you don't go in prepared. I can't tell you how many runs I made on this level before I got one that was a success. Notice in the background there's a big mecha robot that says Sega Saturn on it. We'll get to that in a bit. But the gimmick for this level is that you have to keep with one of the trains. You can technically make it through a lot of this level just by jumping from platform to platform. If you're good, you know where the platforms are. But there's still spots where you need the trains in order to get through. And managing them is a pain in the butt. Now, we could take this train that's being pushed out here, but instead, we're going to be taking this train that we just came in on, as it goes up the track here. Throw away that robot. And we continue riding the train we came in on. Got ourselves a positive sphere. Now you notice that there isn't effect around Pepperitcher. That's because, as we said before, this game runs at 60 frames a second, and I'm recording at 30, so I'm not getting the frames that actually have the special effect. There we go. And now we got onto the last train. This is the last train we'll need in order to get through the level. There's a copious number of positive spheres here. I think the developers knew that this level was a pain in the butt to go through. That was close. I almost lost the train there. I don't like those alarm clocks. And we've made it to the end. And for this game ending stage, I need to hit the L, but I miss it. That's not a problem though. We have plenty of lives. Now, something I wanted to show you here is that if you fall down into the train below you, there's actually an alternate ending to the level. We just jump into this vacuum cleaner. And it pops us right back out in the overworld. It's kind of a nice little Easter egg. But now it's time for the boss. And you remember that transformer we saw in the background before? Here they are again. We can use these enemies that they throw at us in order to hit them. Or we can also smack them in the chest. Hit the enemy again. It's pretty routine. Boss doesn't really have any tricks, like some of the later bosses do. It's mostly just to show off 3D polygon graphics, which I must say were not particularly advanced for the time, but eh. It's okay, you can only hit the boss so many times before it has to do its next phase. Now the boss starts to flash, which means we're getting near the end. And we got it! Continuing Pepper and Cho's waves of destruction through the toys. Who's the real monster here, Pepper and Cho? I think it's you. After Pepper Cho rides Baro Baro over to the next level, we take a stop over at Sulchin Roulette again. Hello, Sulcha. I think we're in the mood for more lives. What have you got for us? Well, this time we actually have 15 coins, so let's bet 15 of them. Oh, that's so out of tune, it hurts me to hear it. Anyhow, there's not much difference between 10 and 15 coins. You still only get one red helmet. And that's exactly what we're gonna go for. Well, must be this one. Of course we're gonna double our luck. Why wouldn't we? As before, there are 4 doubles, and they're all together. And we just doubled our luck again. Press your luck, Sulcha. Press your luck. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. This time there's only 3 doubles, and they're spread apart. Keep your eye on the box. Do you know which one has it? That's right. Well, we don't want to belabor the point anymore. One more time. There's only 3. Fortunately, they're all grouped together, so this shouldn't be too hard. Do you know which ones they're under? Do you have an eagle eye? Check that out. We now have 1 more lives than we have just in our cache. Nope, we're done for now. Thank you very much, Sulcha, for filling up our lives. Goodbye, and thank you everybody for coming to watch I Played a Thing, Clockwork Knight. Next time we'll finish up the game. You have a safe journey, and come back soon.
It's not working. It's not working. I've been to hell. I've seen them before. Now, they've seen me. They know where we are.